Dog breeds are inherently linked to certain locations, reflecting their native climates and cultures. As a result, the names of dozens of breeds, from the German Pinscher to the Swedish Vallhund to the Bernese Mountain Dog, contain their origins. There is one exception, the Australian Shepherd. It seems to have just come out of thin air, which has given it even more attention in the dog breeding sphere. Hey there, welcome to Dog Joy. Today we will take a deep dive into the history of the beloved Australian Shepherd. Stick around because we will also talk about some reasons why you might want to adopt one of these energetic doggos. History. The history and origins of the Australian Shepherd breed are not as clear as one would guess. The current breed description, in fact, was not written until 1977. Breeders are currently attempting to achieve this description of what an Australian Shepherd should look like in their breeding programs. The American Kennel Club did not recognise the Australian Shepherd breed until 1993. Despite the fact that the Australian Shepherd Club created the first breed standard, they chose not to join the American Kennel Club because they felt there was too much emphasis on the dogs being the same and not enough on performance. After all, the Australian Shepherd was bred to be a working dog. Those who thought American Kennel Club recognition was still desirable founded the United States Australian Shepherd Association. They created their own breed standard and joined the American Kennel Club, and on January 1st, 1993, the Australian Shepherd was officially recognised as an official breed. So, where did the Australian Shepherd breed originally come from? What happened prior to the 1950s to bring together the genetic magic that gave rise to the Aussie? Most accounts agree that the Australian Shepherd evolved during the late 19th century land rushes. Settlers came from North America from all over Europe, including shepherds from the United Kingdom, Scotland and Spain, as well as Australia and Latin America. Many shepherds brought their favourite herding dogs with them to help manage the enormous stream of flocks of sheep. Many of the sheep in these flocks were from Australia. Although shepherds, sheep and herding dogs did not arrive in North America from Australia, the ancestors of the Australian shepherds are said to have come from either the Basque region of Spain's Pyrenees Mountains or Germany. However, there is some disagreement concerning the Spanish relationship. Despite the fact that shepherds and valuable Spanish sheep were brought to Australia and eventually to North America, it appears that the dogs used by Basque shepherds were significantly different from the Australian Shepherd of today. The Spanish canines were smaller and leaner, with wire-haired coats that lacked white coloration. It is unclear how these dogs contributed to the history and origins of the Australian Shepherd breed. Once Basque Shepherds arrived in Australia, it is possible that their dogs were bred with other herding dogs that arrived at the same time. For example, there is a case to be made for German Tigers, which are sheep herding dogs. These canines were transported to Australia in the early 1800s and were called German Coolies, or German Coolies by the Australians. They are now known as Australian Coolies. They look a lot more like our Australian Shepherds than the Basque dogs. Merle markings in blue, red and tricolour are featured on the Australian Coolie, and so are the solid red and black coats with white bibs, collars and face markings. The Australian Coolie's eyes can be hazel, brown, black or blue, as well as combinations. Does all this sound familiar? However, it is possible that several other breeds were used in the mix. Scotch Collie, Border Collie and English Shepherd dogs from Britain and Scotland have all been suggested as possible donors to the gene pool of Australian Shepherds. Whatever their historical origins, these canines were prized for their sheep herding abilities once they arrived in North America. Working farm dogs were bred for utility rather than compliance with a standard during this time period. American stockmen bred herding dogs to suit the terrain and weather conditions they faced. The major 2017 Cell Reports study that studied the canine genome to see how dog breeds are connected, and by extension how they developed, reinforces evidence that the Australian Shepherd we know today descends from British herding dogs, whether via the eastern United States or Australia. According to the findings, dogs can be genetically classified into 18 clades or groups of related dogs. The Australian Shepherd, along with the Collie, Shetland Sheepdog and Border Collie, is a member of the UK rural clade. The Australian Shepherd, like many other dogs in that lineage, possess the MDR1 mutation, which causes sensitivity to ivermectin, among other things, and the breed can acquire Collie's eye anomaly. This kind of disease sharing is one that demonstrates the breed's British ancestry. The Australian Shepherd, like many Americans whose ancestors immigrated in past centuries, is a perplexing combination of many diverse cultures, influences, and national identities. Sorting them out is probably impossible, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. In terms of the future, according to the American Kennel Club's 2019 registration figures, the Australian Shepherd is the country's 13th most popular breed, a position that has risen in recent years. While respected breeders are cautious of popularity, not every home is suitable for one of these intelligent, high-energy dogs. We don't really care about how these dogs came around. To be honest, we're just delighted they're here. Size and appearance. Australian Shepherds, as an old and established breed, are pretty consistent in terms of size. However, there are distinct disparities between males and females. Males are typically 20 to 23 inches tall and weigh 50 to 65 pounds, while females are 18 to 21 inches tall and weigh an average of 40 to 55 pounds. A recent trend in exploring similar versions of distinctive dogs has resulted in the development of a smaller version of the Australian Shepherd known as the miniature American Shepherd. These adorable canines are 13 to 18 inches tall and weigh 20 to 40 pounds. Yet they are nearly identical to Australian Shepherds in almost every other way. The Aussie is a multicoloured dog with vibrant and dynamic colour combinations. The American Kennel Club distinguishes 4 coat colours: black, blue merle, red, and red merle. Merle is a colour marbling with a blend of colourful and silver fur, and is what makes their coats so unique. Temperament and characteristics. Australian Shepherds make excellent companions since they are kind and joyful. They are normally courteous to others, yet they may be shy or hesitant towards strangers. Aussies are extremely intelligent and trainable dogs who can learn a wide range of commands and excel at obedience and service work. Training and intelligence. Aussies are easy to teach due to their intelligence, so these pups may appear to be the ideal companions, and they are for someone with plenty of canine experience. Beware new owners, these dogs are extremely intelligent and they are not above using tricks to get their way. If you love dogs like we do and want to see more videos about all the amazing dogs in the world, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified about all our future videos. Exercise and agility. They're natural farm dogs with instinctive herding abilities who adapt quickly to the homestead lifestyle. They're also ideal for adults and families that enjoy outdoor activities, including hiking and camping. Australian Shepherds are becoming more popular by the decade. However, they are not ideal for every area. They have a lot of energy and need a lot of activity every day, which is vital for their mental and physical health. Shedding and grooming. Aussies have thick, shedding double coats that require modest care at least once a week. Despite their excellent trainability, grooming them might be a challenge for the first-time dog owners. Prepare to spend quite a bit of time attending to their shedding needs. Health and lifespan. Australian Shepherds make wonderful, no-nonsense pets. If you choose to adopt one, you should be aware of how long your furry companion will remain at your side. An Australian Shepherd has a typical lifespan of 13 to 15 years, whether it is a male or a female dog. This generally corresponds to the average lifetime of other dog breeds of similar size, or of all dog breeds in general. However, life expectancy varies from dog to dog. In some circumstances, pure breeds are more prone to health problems than mixed breeds. The environment in which a dog lives, as well as the care and treatment it receives, may influence its longevity. While we have no influence over the factors that contribute to lifespan, we can do something about it. This includes giving our pets the greatest care possible, such as correct nutrition, routine vet appointments, exercise, dental treatment, and so on. Well, that's it for these amazing dogs. If you're thinking of getting an Australian Shepherd, well, you're in for a joyful ride. Also, let us know in the comments below. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.